Good morning from the porch. Today I want to talk about why these treats, why making something that was ultra low calorie or no calorie was really important to me. That was Frank the Punisher Castle, who is my failed barn cat. So I have a number of animals that are, we see a lot of overweight horses now. Actually, we're starting to see this trend of like plump horses are what they're looking for in the ring, and it's a body scale of maybe 6, which we'd really prefer to be a little closer to 5, 5.5. It's almost better for your horse to be a little bit, or your dog to be a little bit slender, and also for us, but we're talking about horses and dogs here. So we're seeing this trend, and we're seeing a lot of horses that are coming up with metabolic issues, laminitis, and the treats that are on the market today. And this goes for dogs too. I think there was an association that said about 60% of dogs are considered overweight, but only 17% of their owners think their dog is overweight. So all of these things, we know the same for us, that additional weight places a lot of stress on tendons, joints, the rest of the actual system itself, circulatory, heart, breathing, all of that kind of stuff. And so it's really important for them to stay at a healthy weight. And in my particular case, I have a couple animals that made it very, very evident that as much as I love to treat them, I can't treat them to death. So I wanted to be a little bit more judicious in what I chose, and there are a lot of wonderful options that are out there. Again, this is not a don't use those things, only use this. This is a yes and. So there are some good products out there, and I do like, like desiccated liver treats for the dogs. It's, simple, one ingredient, and it's exactly what they need. And then there's some things out there for the horses that they enjoy as well. But what I also notice is that the same way our food as humans is now being, or has been, engineered for it to be hyper palatable, for it to be what is the greatest number of people whose brain will light up when it tastes this. There is that benchmark for a lot of treats as well. And the go-to for a lot of those treats is going to be something sugar related. And, so we're going to see either high fats or high sugars or something like that. And again, there's a place for all of that. In my particular case, I really like treating my animals. And what I notice also is a lot of the dog recipes, a lot of the horse recipes and everything like that, they're kind of if you haven't added sugar or, a lot of fat or something like that. So the idea of herbs and spices, they're chosen already because the horses and the dogs gravitate towards them. Beetroot powder has a little bit of sugar in it, which actually beetroot powder is wonderful for VO2 max, cardiovascular support, muscle recovery. If you have a dog that you go hiking with, you do agility with, beetroot powder is fantastic to introduce into their diet for horses as well. And, particularly the competition. Say your horse is, at a multi-day event, and you see that by the second or third day, they're already starting to have a little bit of energy lagging. Beetroot powder is a wonderful addition that in general, they really, really like, that it's going to increase their performance, and it's all natural. It doesn't pop on anything. It's not a drug. So this evolution of looking at how do I treat my animals while still paying attention to, their weight, their health, and also specific issues. Trooper himself, his entire rear end is rebuilt, so he cannot get too heavy. If he does, it means he loses mobility. And that's the same case also with my gelding Reacher, who had a septic tendon injury. He is a permanent pasture puff now, but if I keep him around a 5, he's comfortable. If he gets closer to a 6, he starts limping and holding his leg up a lot more. And then just recently I have a draft mule, Ruthie, who joined the herd, and she also has a history of laminitis, side bone, some P2 sinking. And so monitoring her weight is going to be incredibly important also, in addition to the NSC levels for them. So that's kind of where this the evolution of this came from, is I can take turmeric or beetroot powder, and if I add it to water, now we have a drink that not only it hydrates them, it has some supportive health benefits, and the herbs and spices themselves are what provide the flavor. They're what provide the impetus for them, in the enjoyment for them. The same way that if we don't flavor our food, it's incredibly bland. They're of the same mind. And then the other thing that I like about it too is how versatile it is. So if I have beetroot powder and I put it in water and my horse or my dog is not interested in that, they might be interested if I sprinkle it over their food. And that's actually how I hide bute and other medications that my horses don't like to eat. I'll put a little bit of bute and mix it in with there, and then they'll eat it. So you can top dress with this. You can also infuse this in water and then soak all of the food in it. So if you have a picky eater, fenugreek in particular smells like pancakes, and it's really good for the digestive system. And if you have a horse that's a picky eater, you could take some fenugreek, you could infuse it in some water, pour that water over their feed, and you're adding health benefits and also something that is more appealing to them as far as finishing their food and hydrates. And then on top of it, you can also use these as ingredients. So I do have a book called A Dog's Delicious Life. It's out on ebook for Kindle. If you have Kindle Unlimited, you can get it on there. I need to figure out the algorithm because it's not coming up when you search it. But if you go to improveequine.com or improvecanine.com, under Improve Canine, there's a drop down and there's a page where you can go to the link and you can find it. And it's available for free, and it gives you a bunch of different recipes on how you can use the herbs and spices in really, really flavorful treats. My friend has a dog, Lola, that she will spit out bacon. She'll spit out. We have video that she took of her spitting out a shrimp and a meatball, and then she went crazy for the pumpkin beetroot cookies that I made her. And I also modified one of the recipes that's in the book and made some sardine and nettle leaf cookies for her, which she ate as well. So they're incredibly versatile. The impetus behind this is I want to treat my animals, but I want to treat them in a way that supports them having a healthy life, a comfortable life. And so that, I think, is going to be my ramble for today, and I hope you have a wonderful Thursday.